Being in filmmaking for 10 years, I definitely can say I've made my fair share of mistakes when it comes to growing my business and perfecting my craft as a filmmaker. But those 10 years have also been able to give me a lot of perspective. And today I want to talk about 5 of the biggest mistakes that I see from new filmmakers that end up being costly for them in the long run as they try to perfect their craft. So the first biggest mistake that I see from new filmmakers is not understanding the concept of frame rates. Some of those mistakes being filming on set in the wrong frame rate, as well as having their timeline frame rate incorrect during their editing process. Now this topic could be a whole video in itself, understanding when to shoot 24, when to shoot 60. But the main thing to understand from this is that if you truly want a cinematic look from your camera, you should always be in 24 frames per second. You should only be in 60 frames per second if you truly want to slow something down in post. And for the love of God, stop filming in 30 frames per second. So the second biggest mistake that I see from new filmmakers, especially if you're someone who's trying to run like a production company or filmmaking company, this is going to be scaling too early. You know, as filmmakers, as we progress in our skills and our craft and ideas come to our brains and our creative juices are flowing, it's natural for us to want to do more, to want to build more, to want to scale more. You know, wanting a better camera, wanting more lenses, wanting more lights, things of that nature. The biggest thing for filmmakers, if you catch yourself in this mode that's somewhat called gas, it's really just a concept of slowing yourself down and understanding that the piece of gear that you have probably is good enough to do the job you need to do as long as you take the time and learn the gear that you already have to work with. Third biggest mistake that I see from new filmmakers is relying on autofocus. Now honestly, this one could be really a subjective topic depending on what stage you are in your filmmaking career. And while autofocus is useful in a lot of cases, but I will argue regardless of what stage you are, whether you're beginner, intermediate, or somewhat advanced, learning manual focus is going to be crucial to your advancement as a filmmaker, because I guarantee you the more that you progress in this game and the more you get onto bigger production sets, even if you're assisting on a production, people are going to expect you to understand the concept of manual focusing. And there are certain DPs and cinematographers out there that'll have a point of contention to your validity as a filmmaker if you don't understand the concept of manual focusing. I'd say the fourth biggest mistake that I see from new filmmakers is something my buddy CT made me aware of a long time ago, which is situations of paralysis by overanalysis. And what I mean by this is, while planning is always important when it comes to filmmaking and cinematography, sometimes too much planning can lead you to never pressing record and never putting that piece of art out there and learning from the mistakes as you go on the fly. So while planning is important, you don't want to plan yourself to the point to where you psych yourself out of ever putting out that piece of art. I'd say the fifth biggest mistake that I see from new filmmakers is giving into the self-doubt. You know, in my decade of filmmaking, I can honestly tell you that I still go through imposter syndrome every day. And the one thing that I can tell you is that regardless of how good you get in this field, that feeling never goes away. But the key thing is pushing past that fear. And once you do, I guarantee that you'll even surprise yourself with the type of content that you can produce and put out. That's enough of me talking, guys. I appreciate everybody that made it this far in the video. If you found anything helpful, I really appreciate it if you give this video a like. Comment below your thoughts on this topic. And on your way out, don't forget, hit that subscribe button. It really helps me put out more content for you guys like this. It's been another one from your boy DaVinci HD, reminding you the only reason that piece of content that you want isn't out is because you haven't pressed record. See you guys on set. Peace out.